Hey everyone, it is Tomic here, and in this video I want to share with you my process that you can use to get the most out of the books that you read. And I get this question a ton on social media, especially on Instagram when I do stories about the books that I read and I share my experiences and recommendations. Guys always ask, well, Mario, you read so many books, like how do you keep track of all this stuff? What is your process? And that's why I decided to make this video, because I think it's going to help you a lot. And you don't want to do reading just for the sake of reading and going through a bunch of books and just bragging that you read a ton and without actually having any impact in your life. I mean, that's cool for entertainment purposes, but if you really want to change your life, you do want to have a process in place to get the most out of the material. So the first thing that I do with every single book that I read is I make a ton of notes. So I read the book with the intent of finding what are the key points. I read the book with the intent of finding the quote-unquote gold in it, like finding the gems. And just by having that intent and just reading the book like that, I will then be able to gather all that information. Over time, as I'm going through the material, I'm going to be making notes. I'm going to use either the stock notes app on my phone or Evernote or an app like that. And then with every book, I kind of have those key elements that I want to get out of it. And it does help a ton as well in the future if you need to come back to the book. It really makes a ton of difference. And now I have that, and then I also have a master file which I take the absolute best idea from the book and I put it in that masters list, which is some of the list is like the best ideas. And that's actually, a lot of stuff that I share in my videos here with you guys comes from like just condensing so much of that information, compressing all of that into some of the best ideas that really come in multiple different books, which is pretty cool. So I would urge you to do that as well. And just having that intent to make notes and to remember this information and to really be able to use it in the future changes the way you read it, and you're just paying much more attention to the material itself. Second point is you do want to implement something from the book that you're reading. So this actually comes down to the choosing process of the book itself. So you don't want to pick a random book to read that has nothing to do with your current situation in your life. I tend to read a lot of books that I'm also implementing right now in my life. So let's say for my company, we're hiring someone. Now, I want to read books on how to hire an A player. I want to read books about a hiring process. I want to read books that like top grading, that help me determine the best candidate. And by doing that, I'm actually paying much more attention to the actual material. And there's that sense of urgency as well. And I'm able to implement the information, so I'm going to internalize the information much better. So in general, what is your priority in your life right now, you want to be reading about that. You want to get yourself in that, and it's going to also stimulate your thoughts, your brain. You're going to come up with much better ideas for the process itself. And of course, the material is going to have a much bigger impact on your life than just reading for the sake of mental masturbation, which doesn't really do anything. I mean, it does keep you a little bit on track, a little bit engaged, but overall, for a big change in your life, like books changed my life for sure. I think one of the reasons why they did is because I actually took the information and implemented it, and I didn't just think about it. So the third point, actually really important. This is not, I don't see a lot of people do this a lot. And that's actually teaching the information that you're learning. So instead of just learning the information, you want to teach that to someone else. And by teaching it, you're going to internalize it much better. And it forces your brain to compress all the information, all the key points, and you're essentially having to pitch the book to someone else, especially if you're talking to your friends about which book to read or what you're reading right now. They're usually going to ask you, well, what's so cool about that? What's the big thing? What's the big idea? And then it forces you to really summarize the information that you've read into something that makes the most difference for you and the biggest benefits, so they will actually check it out if it's something that they're interested in as well. So teaching the information, either becoming a member of a book club. I actually have a mini book club in my mentoring program. It's kind of a part of what we do as well, a lot of personal development. We also do, I do that a lot with my friends. I do that a lot with people in general. When we meet up, we tend to talk about book recommendations and books. And that helps a lot, because then I get to really test whether I've gone through the material and actually paid attention, or it was just some kind of random thing that we just gone through. And you see a lot of people, and they have these huge book lists of like 300-400 books, and they're saying that I've read like 5 books a week or a book a day. But if you really ask them about a book, they have no idea what the information was in it. Maybe they can give you like one thing. And some books really have 10, 20 different factors that make it awesome. And you do want to make sure that you're not reading just for the sake of reading. So these are my 3 things. This is what I do with every single book, and it helps a ton. Now, if you need a place to actually share this information, actually get other people's insights as well and what to read and what to do, you should join my free Facebook group. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. There you can discuss books and get recommendations as well from me. I'm active in that group as well. Now, if you're looking to check out my reading list, I urge you to check out my website. I'm going to leave a link for my reading list in the description below so you can see that. And there's a lot of books there, so don't get intimidated when you first see it. I've started reading books back in 2012, so there's almost 600 books there. I do recommend checking out some of those. I've gone through that website and just changed a few things, so you can actually see some of my top recommendations there as well. So you can start with those before you dig into the go deep into the rabbit hole of all the material. Other than that, actually, I'm curious, what are you reading right now? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm always looking for great recommendations. So share with me what you're reading right now and what's so good about the book, and I will check it out. If it's something that is interesting, I'll definitely check it out. So let me know in the comments. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to get content like this if you like it. Make sure to hit like as well. If you don't like it for some reason, hit dislike. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, hit that bell icon to get notified of new videos, to get notified when new stuff comes out, so you can get tons of value out of it as well. And I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.